Okay. I'll be starting soft and rigid bodies. So in constraints, okay, this is of soft body. We need to just see rigid body. Yeah. In fields and solver, we have rigid body, active rigid body, passive rigid body. We are gonna work on this rigid bodies so that we can create very realistic simulations and all. Okay. So for example, I'm gonna create a sphere first. Okay. So wherein you should get a sphere. I think it's taking some time to load. Yeah. Okay. So we have a sphere here, and I'm gonna create a plane. So I want a bouncing, ball. The ball should bounce, it should fall from top, so it should bounce. Okay. And a simple example I'm gonna show. One is a tennis ball, one is an iron ball, one is a um, kind of soft ball. I'm gonna duplicate this one here. I'm gonna duplicate this another here. This normally, you will be having quite bigger in shape, and this is a soft ball. So this is like an iron ball which I'll make, and this is like a tennis ball, something like that. Okay, all this, like will fall from the same part. So what I'll do first thing is I'm gonna select all this. I will convert this into active rigid bodies. Under fields and solver, you have rigid body. There are two things: active rigid body, passive rigid body. I'm going to convert this into active rigid body. Now these objects are converted into rigid bodies basically. Once it is, you get to see like select the object, and the object is having certain options here: velocity, initial velocity, spin, all this thing. But main thing you have to observe is active. Active is on. Okay. So now what I'll do, these are supportive like rigid bodies, and I'm selecting all this. I'm going to apply a field called gravity because I want these objects to fall down. It should fall down. So now when I play this, all these are like from top to bottom, it's falling like this. Okay. Animation preferences here. Click on this. Animation preferences under time slider. This has to be 24 fps bar 1. Okay. So that it plays like this. So now we have this option active rigid bodies in place. Now I select this. I want this to be like a passive rigid body. So come to fields and solvers. Okay. Here, make this as passive rigid body. Make this particular object. That means this supports animation. Active rigid bodies are those which performs the animation. Passive rigid bodies are those which supports the animation. Okay. So when you play, see there is some sort of bounce, by default, which is happening here. Okay. This is something really interesting. By default, like you get to see very nice animation, or everything is having almost like same bounce. Okay. So now I select this. I keep this in a layer. I want this to be like a like an iron ball. Okay. So for iron ball, what I have to do here, select this object, and you just see here, scroll down, mass. Mass is nothing but weight. Right now, assume this is 1 kilo, 1 kilogram. Okay, 1 kg. I'm gonna make this into 100. So when I make this into 100, when you place, okay, you have that bounce only. But what I have to do, bouncing is obviously I need to reduce. I make 0.2 instead of 0.6. By default, it is 0.6 bounciness. I make 0.2. Okay, so I think I'm gonna reduce even more. I'll make 0.1. Okay. Damping is nothing but, like it slows down the whole process. Okay, see, 0.5. Okay, I'm gonna turn on this other two. Okay, so when you see since weight is more, but it is falling on a lower speed, these two are falling speed. Okay, that's damping. I've given 0.2. I'm gonna, okay. Damping 0.5, sir. I'll make it 0. Um, friction, I need to give friction. Okay, let's say I make bounciness 0 only. Okay, there's no bounciness for this. So this clearly looks like a iron ball. So now I'm increasing the wheel mass to 1000. Okay, this is iron. Now I want this to be like a soft ball. So what I'll do, mass is okay. Damping, I'm gonna give 0.5. So once this I make it as a soft ball, so this will be floating kind of. Okay, and I need to increase bounciness for this. So when I increase bounciness to 1, it will bounce more. See, compared to all this object, this is gonna bounce more. So bounce I can give 1.5. Okay. See, this is gonna bounce more. And this is so beautiful, like very nicely, like this can be done. Okay. Now this one, I'm gonna make this as a kind of a tennis ball wherein even more bouncy. Okay. Bounciness I can give 2. So that's what a lot of variations are there in this. Oh, a lot of bounciness is happening now. Okay. So this is a simple example. Any doubts, Vanda, up to here? Any doubt? You're on mute if you're talking. Okay, I am saving this. Same for dynamics of rigid bodies. Okay. So I'm going to create one more example. You might know this domino effect. So I'm going to place this here. Okay. I just created a cube here and I'm placing it here. So what I'll do, I'm going to duplicate this cube, place it here, and shift duplicate, which is duplicate special, which looks something like this. And I'll be creating a plane, which is almost like this, like this. I'll create one more plane. Which I'll be placing it here. Lift this up. And I'm going to rotate this. place it here. I'll create a sphere over here. I'll make it smaller. Okay, now let's play, rigid bodies here. So this will be an active rigid body. When see, the concept is the ball has to hit this surface, and from here it should get bounced and it hit this object, and all this object should fall. Okay, that's the ask here. So obviously the object which is performing animation is active body. So this will be my active rigid body. I select this. I go to fields and solver. I'll convert this as active rigid body. Then when the ball hits this object, all this has to fall. So all this has to be active rigid body, except the ground and this object. So even this also, I'm making this as active rigid body. I want this object and this surface, bottom surface has to stay there. So I'm selecting these two. So these are passive rigid body. Now there has to be some field, right, to affect, means the ball should come down or this object should fall down. So for that, I'm selecting these sphere and these pieces, and I'm applying a field called gravity. Now let's see what happens when I play this. Okay, there is just a touch. So what I'll do, I'll give a little bit bounciness for this. So bounciness 0.6 is that I make this into 1. Let's see. Okay, great. Yeah, see, you got it. Okay. If you can achieve an output something like this up to here, this you can use it for your show reel, demo reel purpose. Okay. Now it's like, now what is like, now the weight of the sphere is 1. If I make this into 100 and see what is the effect on this domino. So the force is more. See? Why? Because earlier the weight of the sphere is 1. Now it is 100. So that just visualize a lean person when he pushes, what happened, and when a hefty person, a WWE champion, when he pushes, what happened. Like the other person will fall, right? So that's the effect here. Okay, so now bounciness I'll make 0.5, and let's see what is the output. Wow, with one shot itself, okay, this is gonna fly. See? With one shot. This is really good. What if the value is 1000 now? Means the weight is 1000 and 1.8 I'll give. See? This has pushed, right? This is the effect it is. So this is what, the rigid bodies, active and passive rigid body. Any doubts, Vanda? Any doubt? Any questions? Any doubts? Okay. Great then. These are rigid bodies, so just try this. So I think most of the things, like I have covered already in dynamics, which is VFX part. I have completed crowd simulation also in the last class. So just try it out, refer to the earlier videos, class videos, and try to complete the output. Okay. And as I was saying, your exams will be, starting 6th, March 6th, let's say Yeah, the week starting 6th. Okay. So anyhow, I'll communicate the date. So I have already shared the theory files and all with you. So just go through that. Okay. So do let me know if you have any doubts. So you can reach out to me, you can call me, call to my number, WhatsApp number. Okay, fine then, bye now. Take care. See you in the next class. Take care, bye.